Hello everyone, I'm back to do another review. My name's Natred, you're watching my fighting reviews. Today we're going to be looking at an Amtgard first to 5 between Kurai and Augustus. A better fighter than I, Raven from Amtgard, described Kurai as being almost Warlord level, if not Warlord leveled already in skill. And he's fighting against an already Warlord Augustus. And just kind of some context, I got this from Raven's Discord server for coaching. If you want to check that out, let me know. I'll hit you up with the contact information for it. The Kurai told me ahead of time that he doesn't do very well in this first to 5, and it's the first time he had fought board to this day, so he hadn't really warmed up with that yet. And I got through the first minute of this video before I accidentally turned off my recording. And I got to see some things that I'm going to go back over pretty quickly here without really dwelling on it, and just hit the high points to kind of catch back up to where I was, see some new material. Kurai says later in the day he did some more first to 5s against Augustus here and had a winning score against him. I started noticing things right here, like with Kurai's a little bit more mobile with his footwork. We're having some more like big sword movement here, whereas in the past videos I've watched of him, he's been much more static, willing to stand and exchange. This looks maybe a bit more skittish, I'm not sure, or if maybe there's something that he knows about Augustus that's making him want to be more mobile here. But as he's more mobile in his guard, there's also these gaps that start to appear. Let's just go through this at a little bit slower speed. We have this like sword hand. The board stays in a really nice spot. We have this sword hand that's very active, moving up and down, moving side to side, moving in circular fashions, going back up like to chamber to counter. And Augustus just reads it here, and also against like low strap shields, that understab has a bit more mileage you can get out of it. But reading Kurai's overactive guard and responding with a very direct, like abrupt, swift, like economic movement of the stab. Kurai takes a shot to the back of the head there. Yeah. This comes in and is going to hit Augustus's hand and also make some contact at the top of his thigh. I think this is something that you have to be able to switch into allowing yourself to do. Like, if you're first to 5ing, first to 10ing somebody, just experiment with putting them on their knees. And I'm not saying like Kurai thinks that Augustus here is much better than him, but I think that if you're fighting somebody who's much better than you, or at least much more mobile than you, one of the best things you can do is just experiment with putting them on the ground. Maybe they'll still be better than you on the ground, but at least you can experiment and find out. Yeah, this is what I thought was really cool out of Kurai. This little setup to try to pick off the forearm. Yeah, so you want to talk about like setting up your shots. This is a good setup. We throw this like flat like chop here. Oh, I'm sorry, I started a little bit too far back. Here, this like kind of flat movement and then coming straight back in. We're going to do this, come back into my guard, do something that looks almost exactly the same, but then break back over the top of your wrist into this forearm. This is a cool little like setup to try to kill somebody on the ground who's going to have like a good like guard on the ground. Yeah, because that's just like a little setup. Then you're gonna throw your actual 1-2 combo, and like it starts off looking exactly like your last shot, but then at the last second breaks over. Unfortunately, doesn't get it, and unfortunately, Kurai eats the high cross to the chest here. Caught leaning a little bit too much forward with his chest, maybe. Yeah. Kurai told me some of this ended up off screen. Indeed, it does. But you can still see. I liked this too. I like stuff like because like this little pop to the shield here, kind of like coming down into a little like the lower area of the shield. I feel like when you do things like this, you kind of mess with your opponent's head, because this is gonna make I feel like it's gonna make his lizard brain think, oh, my lower shield side is like fine. My lower shield area is fine, and so I don't got to worry about moving my fucking shield down. It's in a good spot. Kurai will then come up high. Warlord's like, nope, that's obviously the fake. I'm not, or that's like, this is obviously the fake. Also, I'm not even gonna overreact with my shield. I'm also not going to move my shield back down because my brain just told me that my shield is protecting this area, and Kurai just comes in a little bit lower, changes the angle just a little bit, lays it right in. Really kind of getting inside of your opponent's head and playing some four-dimensional chess. Okay. Always interested to see how people negotiate this kind of situation. Kurai being very patient, so is Augustus very patient. So it looks like we got dead leg on Kurai. Maybe this travels up enough. And Kurai's shot might be going head. Let's see if we can tell how they called that. Hard to say. Couldn't really hear the count there. Heard 2-1. Not really sure who was in the lead. I'm going to slow it down to turn it down. There we go. Ignore my technical difficulties, please. So my question when I see this is, this looks like Kurai getting faked out because the shield comes down here. Yeah, and it's interesting. I've heard this like said before. The better a fighter is, the smaller your fake has to be to sell it. Because like if your fake is really big and dramatic, it's like obviously a fake. Augustus on the left here. Look how small this downward motion is that he has to use to like sell Kurai on dropping his shield. Like if he did a big like motion there, Kurai's never gonna buy it. But Kurai like knows how good this person is, knows how skilled and how fast they are, and like has to respect this little movement. And so of course everything's not perfect. Nobody thinks at like, you know, super fast mega speed. But in situations like this, I would just try to step out. If I was Kurai, create some more distance. But I don't know. There's really no time for it. This is a good lunge by Augustus here into like this nice grind range, into standing up nice and tall with this little hop. Yeah, this is just good on Augustus's part. And again, like, you know, the shield movement out of Kurai is kind of a recurring theme we're seeing with this video specifically. Against the last couple of videos I reviewed, they're both from the same day, I believe, where Kurai's like guard was a lot more static to the point where I was criticizing it, but it was working out much better for him. Maybe picking up a leg on Kurai there. Yeah. That looks like a win for Kurai. Yep, and it's nice to see that even Warlords do this. Like, I get it, you want to, like, keep the shield up high here to block, like, the shot that's gonna come in, but, like, maybe come in for your shoulder. I still think you want to drag the shield just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, man, I think if Kurai had just, like, done the bad habit high cross there, that would have been enough to pick this one up. Yeah, just high cross the fuck out of him. Keep your shield in a good position, but... Yeah. Instead, has good mechanics, chooses to come back instead, but picks up arm, shoulder. A little bit of an overextension, over level change for Warlord here in the gray. That might have been called light on the leg there. Not even really leg at all, just bounced off the hand. Couldn't really see that, can't really see this one. We'll just fast forward through it. Okay, yep. I think I did see his head kind of move back into it. I'm agreeing with the fighters there. Good leg shot, almost picking up a kill off of it. And see, like, even now, I could be wrong, but even now it looks like Kurai's hands are starting to move in tighter circles. The footwork's becoming less all over the place. Maybe not. There's a big piece of mobility. I like to see that Kurai's able to pull shit like that out when he needs to. Or, like if he needs to. But it seems like Kurai's movements, even now, are starting to get more controlled. Almost gets the block on this forearm wounding shot here. It looks like his brain may have been caught halfway between blocking and striking. This is like a habit that I think needs to be reined in across your entire fighting life if you want to get better. This, like, what Kurai's doing here, going, like, swinging his sword for the block, swinging that sword down into the block like that. When really, all that really needed to be done is probably just coming down a little bit and keeping that sword, like, as vertical as you can. Back it up, back it up, back it up. Yeah. Like, this is like literally a punch block. Kurai is, like, punching his blade and his guard down into it. Boom! And he's coming to meet it. I believe that's what's creating that angle there for the forearm. And now again, this is tricky. I did a little review highlight of how Kurai navigated this at one point that looked really clean. Interested to see if he tries to set it up the same way. Is that a trade, maybe? Can't see what Augustus is hitting here. Kurai is definitely hitting something. Hard to say if he's in time without seeing the other shot. I hope Kurai got the trade there just because I want him to win, because I'm biased, even though I know he's not going to. Also, is this the NordVPN symbol? Are you sponsored? What's up? Bro. Bro, you're gonna get me copyright struck. You guys are fighting like me now. Talking constantly. I should be whacking it. Kurai picking up the back there. Perhaps. Yep. And I think that's just good sword movement out of Kurai. And again, just like, he's not throwing a full high cross as his fake here. because Augustus is used to fighting at a really high skill level and a really high rate of speed. All it takes is this little dip up and across. I guess you can't dip up, but you know what I mean. This little coming across to get movement going. And he's there. Well, there's that stab again. Yeah, it looks like maybe our Warlord Augustus here is noticing that Kurai has a tendency to post high, kind of like to chamber to up high to respond, and is kind of exploiting that by throwing some aggressive motion, and then when Kurai does post up to counter strike, throwing these short little stabs. Maybe also, I have to go back and look at it again, I'm not gonna. Maybe he's also reading that Kurai has a habit of shuffling to the right, which gives those stabs a lot of equity. But that's it. I would be really interested if we could get the other video. I know there's the other First to Fives that happened today. I know there's not video of it, but it would be really neat to be able to compare these two side by side and see what they adjusted, see what Kurai adjusted to do a little bit better. And look at how handsome these boys are.
Just want to finish out and do some flow?
Sure, yeah. Want to go get a trifecta?
Yeah.
So handsome. I may review the flow film later, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching.